AI can sometimes seem like an insurmountable wall that only individuals who forego all other pursuits and dedicate their entire lives to can handle. Kind of like the Night's Watch. The truth is, though, learning AI is no different from learning any other skill. Take snowboarding, for example. You don't start off by learning all the complicated fancy tricks that the pros do. You start with the basics. You start by learning how to stop, how to turn, and by learning how to fall flat on your face. Eventually, though, you get better as you build up the skills in your repertoire, while still falling flat on your face. But if you're not falling, you're not getting better, and that means building up your foundational skills. Classification is a foundational skill when learning to create AI models, and it's not that difficult to get started. Classification is the process of dividing items into categories, say like dividing cats and dogs. And when creating an AI model, classification is a process of getting your computer to recognize the difference. Well, so what, you might think? That doesn't sound difficult. But think about how you actually determine the difference between a cat and a dog. Like, what are the rules you use in your head? I mean, both can have whiskers, both can have pointed ears, and both can be rats in disguise. Those are rats. You cannot fool me. Those are rats. I don't like them. The point is, if you actually think about how you determine the difference between a cat and a dog, it really just comes down to what it looks like. That just looks like a cat, and that just looks like a dog. But you can't tell the computer that, right? Actually, you can. There's a specific AI model called the convolutional neural network. And when you feed this type of model a bunch of different images of cats and dogs, eventually it will figure out what's a cat and what's a dog all by itself. And this is an experiment that anybody can run, even if you're not super technical. Go to anaconda.com/download and download the Python 3.6 version and install it. Then go to github.com/sem-anyalo/AI lab-classification to download the experiment. Once downloaded and extracted, double-click on the install.bat file to install the experiment. After installation is complete, double-click on the run.bat file and a Jupyter Notebook page should open up in your browser. Now, these files will only work on Windows. If you're running a Linux distro, chances are you know how to adapt this experiment to your OS. If you're running a Mac, unfortunately, I didn't create setup files for you. When it comes to Apple, I told you, I don't like rats in disguise. I don't like them. In your Jupyter Notebook, this is where we define the classes we want to predict. And this is where the images we will be using for training and testing are located. To run the experiment, click on the Cell menu item, then click on Run All. It'll take several minutes to complete. Once it's complete, you can see the results of the prediction. For context, before we trained the model, the accuracy was much lower. To increase the accuracy, try increasing the epochs or adding more examples of cats and dogs in the training folders. Now when you try this, especially if it's your first time, you will fall flat on your face. But if you keep getting up, even when you think that this is it, it's finally done, but another surprise comes to bite you. When that thorn in your side finally gets removed, after being there for so long, it will feel good. Like really, really good. Thanks for watching. See you next time.